Let's just jump right into this explainer. We're heading to the Alwar district of Rajasthan, India, to explore the absolute mystery of Bhangarh Fort. Now, this isn't just your typical, dusty 16th century monument. This place holds a deeply unsettling, very real modern secret. We're literally looking at a spot where ancient legends crash head-on into strict modern-day government regulations. It's a wild historical puzzle, and honestly, I can't wait to get into this with you.
To really grasp the vibe of this place, you have to picture the sheer scale of its transformation. Back in the 16th century, Raja Madho Singh built this absolutely magnificent, thriving hub. Try to imagine bustling markets, grand palaces, and thousands of people just living their daily lives. But today, it is completely silent. It's broken, totally abandoned, and above all else, heavily feared. The shift from a crown jewel of a kingdom to these desolate ruins is just staggering.
So, moving on to Section 1, the sunrise to sunset rule.
Okay, get this. The Archaeological Survey of India, the ASI, is a serious, scientific government organization, right? But they've placed this actual warning board right outside the fort, officially banning anyone from remaining inside after dark. The text is totally unambiguous. Entry prohibited after sunset and before sunrise. Literally, no one is allowed to stay there at night. And as you can imagine, that one prominent warning has sparked just countless local legends and stories of the paranormal.
Seeing an undeniable government warning like that immediately makes you ask a pretty logical question. What exactly are they trying to protect visitors from? I mean, is it just a safety thing? People tripping over crumbling ruins in the pitch black? Or is there a much darker historical reason behind this strict ban? Well, to figure that out, we have to trace the fear right back to its roots.
Which brings us to Section 2, the Tantric's deadly curse.
So, local legend tells the story of the kingdom's exceptionally beautiful Princess Ratnavati and this dangerously obsessed tantric, basically a dark magician, named Singya. Singya was completely desperate for her affection, so he tries to use dark magic on a bottle of perfume meant for the princess. The plan was to hypnotize her the second she used it, forcing her to fall in love with him. But the princess outsmarted him. She figured out the evil plot before the cursed perfume ever touched her skin, and she just chucked the bottle away. As the legend goes, when that bottle hit the ground, it miraculously rolled right toward the tantric and crushed him to death.
But here's where it gets crazy. Moments before he died, the crushed tantric cursed the entire fort. And then, shortly after that curse was cast, a massive, absolutely devastating battle swept through the kingdom. The city was practically leveled, and thousands of people were slaughtered. Because of that sudden, total devastation, Bhangarh was abandoned forever. It's like the black magician's dying words were perfectly fulfilled. Let's look at Section 3, Echoes After Dark.
Fast forward to today, visitors who push their luck and linger a little too long as dusk approaches report some seriously chilling stuff. People actually claim the spirits of Bhangarh still wander the ruins. They report hearing disembodied whispers, footsteps, sudden screams, even strange music playing after the sun goes down. And it gets way more visceral than just creepy sounds. Some visitors claim they felt invisible hands touching them in the dark, or they've seen shadowy figures darting between the broken temples. Oh, and perhaps most frustratingly for modern explorers, their tech, like cameras and phones, just inexplicably fails.
Now, despite those very strict ASI warnings we talked about earlier, human curiosity is a pretty powerful thing. People still try to sneak in and spend the night. And this totally fuels local stories claiming that thrill seekers who actually managed to stay the night have allegedly never returned the same. You hear these rumors of profound psychological changes. People recount being surrounded by bizarre sounds, their cameras completely dying, and phones losing all signal, literally cutting them off from the outside world while they're just trapped in the darkness.
Let's break this down in Section 4, Science Meets the Supernatural.
When you put the believers and the skeptics side by side, the contrast is super stark. Believers naturally point to the screams, the shadows, and those invisible hands as concrete proof of the tantric's lingering curse. But skeptics? They logically point out that howling wind passing through complex, broken stone corridors naturally creates some incredibly strange, eerie noises. Plus, experts argue that sheer psychological suggestion is at play. Think about it, the power of your own fear and imagination when you know you're standing in a supposedly cursed, abandoned city at night. That's more than enough to create the illusion of paranormal activity.
Yet, even if you lean towards scientific skepticism, there's this fascinating architectural mystery that just persists. Despite the complete destruction of the city during that ancient battle, many of the temples inside the fort remain standing perfectly intact. Why were these specific structures practically untouched while the rest of the kingdom was just reduced to rubble? Locals firmly believe it's because the sacred energy of those temples naturally repelled the dark curse, standing as a literal, physical testament to the legendary battle between good and evil.
So, we are left with this massive, lingering question. Was the magnificent kingdom of Bhangarh actually destroyed by the tragic, mundane realities of war? Or was it the victim of a deadly, supernatural curse? Are these modern reports just historical exaggerations fueled by the wind and our own overactive imaginations? Or is something truly waiting in those abandoned shadows? The really fascinating takeaway here is that despite all of our modern logic and science, nothing has managed to completely erase the deep-seated fear surrounding this location.
At the end of the day, no one can say for absolute sure what exactly haunts the ruins of Bhangarh Fort, but one undeniable fact remains. When the sun sets, Bhangarh changes. The government authorities know it, the locals know it, and the history simply demands respect. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to ponder. Knowing the history, the dark legends, and those very real government warnings, would you dare to spend one night inside Bhangarh Fort?